Okay, have and have not fans. Now, this is a theory video. I'm pretty sure I've already done this. I know I've probably talked about this in another video a long time ago, but due to the fact that the question is still up in the air, and once again, thank you all for joining me on Instagram, the HAHN. There's a link to my Instagram in the description below. It has been such a treat speaking with so many other have and have not fans on Instagram face to face, just like a Skype or FaceTime, just having good discussions with fellow addicts like myself. Such a privilege. So if there's anyone else that would love to join me over there, I definitely suggest hitting the link in the description below to my Instagram. Follow me. That way when I do live streams, you can send a request and we can talk face to face. Now, this is something I'm pretty sure a lot of us has thought about, even as back as when Jeffrey first came out to his parents way back in the ending of season 1. Do you think that in Veronica's past, when she was younger, do you think she was possibly, I don't even know if I want to say she was a full-on lesbian, but maybe she found herself attracted to another female. And, my ignorance, excuse me. Some of you in the comments might just say, well, Jeremy, you're an idiot because being a lesbian means you're into women. That's true. But then I believe there's also bisexuals. And even Candace told Jeffrey that she slept with a girl once. I believe she said it was somebody that was like a dyke or something in high school or on the basketball team. So basically she did try sex with a woman once, but she wasn't into it. So it was like an experimentation rather than a full-on attraction. So maybe that was the case with Veronica. So if you want to bash me in the comments about not knowing about the specific politically correct phrasing of what a lesbian is, well, I don't really see how you can criticize because this is a full-on theory. We know nothing about if Veronica indeed was in some sort of romantic relationship with another female when she was younger. So this is all theory. Now, the reason this theory is coming up is because a lot of people have approached me, whether it be on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube comments, Facebook, about what about Veronica? Why is she so homophobic? Now, she has made it clear. This was in season 2, I think, during the stages of when David and Veronica, the rift in their marriage began to happen. It began to widen because David was supporting his son while Veronica wasn't for him being gay. And Veronica straight up said, like, I don't have a problem with gay people. I just have a problem with my son being gay. And I got to be honest, though, even if you look at Veronica's recent activity, I don't think that she's homophobic. I just don't think she appreciates her son being gay. I think that's what it boils down to. Like, yes, I mean, if you look at it, every homosexual that she's verbally assaulted has been somebody that's been in some sort of relations with her son, because in the recent episode when she confronts Jeffrey and Justin, it seems like Veronica in her twisted mind has concocted the perspective of my son isn't gay. It's these little girls that he's running around with that are making him this way, so I can fix it. And that is not what is going on. I really don't even know how to put it into words because I'm just blown away by how far she has gone, the length she has gone through to put her son, quote unquote, back in line. Now, I feel like when it comes down to it, I really don't think she has a problem with gay people because the way she talks down to like Landon and Justin, Veronica does that to pretty much everybody. Everybody she feels is beneath her. People who work at hospitals, police officers, Rocky at the bar, and the list goes on. She is not above talking down to anyone else, I guess is the best way to put it. But when it comes down to it, in season 1, she did make some points that, viewers were, this was back during my Twitter days when I did nothing but tweet and blog. Actually, I think it was like early season 2 when David was concerned about Jeffrey being in the closet. It's like, there are people who are gay and they are in the closet and then they end up committing suicide. And one of my favorite lines from Veronica about Jeffrey, she was like, Jeffrey wouldn't do that. He's too strong to do that. I admit that even though Veronica, ever since season 2, her character has gone down, in my opinion, in terms of me relating to or feeling sorry for her, I do like that she does believe in her son to be strong enough not to commit suicide. But to be honest, it goes back to after she got stabbed by Jeffrey, and David told the story of how he used to be bullied as a kid and then beat up the kid with a baseball bat. It doesn't help that Veronica is bullying him, and it really diminishes her character in my eyes because she's not doing anything to connect with her son. She's only doing what she feels is right to put her family back in line. She has to be in control or she'll break everything around her just to get her family back, and that really does hurt. Now, Veronica also talks about the fact that it's hard enough being a black man in America, and he wants to slap gay on top of it. I'm not going to lie, I can kind of see where she's coming from with that, because as an African American myself, yeah, it is tough out here. I mean, I'm in a part of the U.S. where, luckily enough, and I don't want to jinx or anything, but as far as I know, because when it comes to news coverage, it's pretty choosy where it airs stuff. Like they tell stories. Luckily enough, in my area, I don't believe I've ever heard of any police brutality or discrimination. I believe in terms of being in Lynchburg, Virginia, the only times I really dealt with any kind of racial stuff, it was just really tense around this time back when Obama got elected for the second time in office. What was that in was it 2014? I could be wrong. Was it like 2013, 2014? But yeah, it was kind of rough being in Lynchburg, especially being at Liberty University, being black. So yeah. And I don't even think I was old enough. Was I old enough to vote at the time? Or was I not? Or I didn't vote? It was one of those. I forgot. But yeah, it was not fun. No, you know what? I didn't vote. And that was not out of choice. It was because it was the first time I was old enough to vote. And yeah, that's right. It was my first time being old enough to vote. And like an idiot, I filled out the paper wrong because I put my home address, not my school address. So I wasn't able to go to the poll. So anyway, maybe it's a good thing I didn't vote, because if I couldn't fill out the form, then maybe I would have picked the wrong person to vote for. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, it was tough being around campus when it was, because Liberty University, I love it, but it's a Republican school. I don't care what anybody says, because I went to school there. I worked there. You just know. You just know. But in any case, I'm sorry about that rant. Yeah, she did have a point about, being black in America is hard. Then, I'm not gay, so I don't really know exactly what kind of challenges the gay community faces. But I just know that, based off news and everything. What is it? It's June, so I believe it is Pride Month, because anytime you log on to social media, YouTube, Google, there's usually like a headline like in this part of the U.S. they're having a parade, or like a country. In this part of the country they're having like this festival, or on YouTube they have like I believe there's like a section on YouTube where they have creators on YouTube, who have channels like myself, and they're doing highlights on YouTubers who are of the homosexual or gay community. So I think, yeah, that June is a Pride Month. So in the news there's always something, well, not always, but there's usually something going on about discrimination. What was the big story? Something about a pair of a bakery, they refused to make a wedding cake for a gay marriage. I think that was something that was finally settled a couple weeks ago. I could be wrong, but the reason I'm kind of taking this left turn on the video is talking about how Veronica did have a good point, because it's hard enough being black, and then stamping gay on top of that means that Jeffrey would have even more challenges to deal with. Now, that was true. That's what that was back when I actually liked Veronica's character, because I could kind of see where she was coming from. I'm not agreeing with her blackmailing Jeffrey with the black sedan, forcing him to go on that date with Melissa, then ending up, planning everything so she gets pregnant. But yeah, in terms of her character as a mother, I can understand why she feels the way she feels, because, we live in a day and age where, I mean, I'm only 26, single, no kids. So obviously I'm not as experienced as some of you all watching this video who might have families of your own. But I can remember being younger and there would be certain things I would think, even as a maybe a teenager, I thought about, what is it like when I grow up, maybe get married and have a family of my own, because you kind of look at how you're raised and friends around your age, you kind of look at how they act and how they treat their parents and how their parents treat them. And you wonder about some of the big questions that your kid asks because, back in the day when you're really young, I'm just thinking about some of the questions that would make parents either nervous to even answer or not even answer at all. Like, where do babies come from? Do I really have to die? Because when you're a kid I grew up in a Baptist church, young age. So I was always curious about, do I really have to die? How can I live forever? That kind of stuff. And, how did you and mom meet? First time having sex, that kind of stuff, those kind of questions. But nowadays it's kind of like, you don't know what kids are going to ask you because they got so much information in the palm of their hands. So you don't know what kind of questions kids will bring home to their parents. It's like, how do you know if you're attracted to somebody? And then those are the questions that are, the big times, like Jeffrey revealing that he was gay to his parents. As a parent, what do you do if your kid, maybe high school, middle school age, comes up to you is like, Mom, Dad, I think I'm gay. I think I'm lesbian. It's kind of like, wow, that was a curveball you never saw coming. It was like a punch to the gut because growing up, you may not have had to deal with that because of the times. Times are different. So yeah, this video is definitely going in a different direction than I originally planned. Originally, I thought this video would be like 5 or 6 minutes, but I really want to break it down. I want to see things from everybody's perspective because this is a theory video, So yeah, I definitely feel like the comments on this one should be interesting. So I'm thinking from Veronica's perspective, we know that she came from apparently the same side of the tracks that the likes of Hannah. She basically came up as a have-not, I believe is the best way to put it. But then she kind of climbed her way out of the gutter and then became the successful black woman that she is today. And she doesn't really have patience for people who haven't achieved what she has because she's the prime example of you don't have to let your surroundings and background define who you are because anyone can make it to the top of the peak if you're willing to work hard for it. I guess it's the best way to put it. But I guess you could say that looking back at how Veronica made it to where she is, she probably wanted to make, I feel like one of the best lines between Veronica and Jeffrey was that episode in season 2 when she revealed the blackmail, when she handed Jeffrey the envelope and said, open it. And then it was the black sedan saying, if you don't get your ass in line, then I won't put your ass behind bars. And what did she say? What did she say? It's something about how you're messing up this family dynasty or something like that. And it was like, crap, I forgot what she said. Jeffrey said something that's like, but you're not and then Veronica was like, and you're not a queen. What the hell did she say? It was good line. I know you're probably, Jeremy, if it was such a good line, how come you don't remember? It was season 2. It was a while ago. But basically, what I'm saying is Veronica probably had this perfect picture in her mind of, okay, I'm going to become a have. I'm going to become friends with somebody big in the community, Catherine Cryer. Because remember, Catherine always pointed out that Veronica was never a friend. She was just somebody that was with her for social appearances to make her own self look good. So being she needed, a loving, faithful husband, a son that would bring up the next generation of Harringtons. So being the mother of a gay son was something she did not want because that would be like a little smudge. It was like the perfect photo, but then there was just this speck of dust that she wasn't able to remove. And she wanted a picture perfect life. But the problem is, the more she tried to get rid of that piece of dust, that one little speck on that perfect photo, the entire photo is forever damaged. That's exactly the Harrington family. I mean, if you want to put it in perspective, you can almost use the Harrington house as a what's the word I'm looking for? A metaphor or a personification of Veronica. She basically could not. This was a beautiful house that wasn't even far from Jim and Catherine's house, because remember, Jim and Catherine literally ran over to the house to see what was going on. I don't even believe they drove over there. They just rushed over there to see what was going on because they probably saw the flames from their own house. And because Veronica could not settle for anything damaging her perfect life, the perfect family, she was willing to destroy everything. So that leads to the house being burned and turned to ashes. So I feel that maybe in Veronica's past, she had a mother like herself or her father. We just know that Jim sued her father, sued the hell out of the father for we don't know why. And because of that reason, Veronica's mother hates Jim. But it seems that Veronica's father did pass away. Her mother is still alive. I don't want to get into a rant video about Veronica's mom showing up. I've done at least 6 of those already. I would love for her to show up at some point. But I really want to know how Veronica was raised. Was there a point in her lifetime? And this video, yeah, I feel like this was a very in-depth video because I wanted to explore why Veronica is so against her own son being gay, because that might give us a glimpse into how she was raised, because maybe when she was on the other side of the tracks, she was attracted to another female. They probably were together. Maybe they got caught. I don't know. But let's just put it this way. I believe that in order to fit the glove of society that she longed to be a part of, maybe she figured that being a lesbian was not something, that being a black woman was enough of a challenge for her. So slapping on being a black female lesbian would have made things even tougher for her. Hey, follow me on this one. So maybe she decided not to go out with this girl and broke up with her on her own accord, or her parents found out, mother or father or both, we don't know. Maybe they got on to the fact that their daughter was seeing another female, and they pretty much maybe they beat it out of her, mentally abused, verbally abused her. But Veronica just seems like, wow, doing this video makes me almost feel sorry for Veronica. And in most of my recent live streams and videos, I kept saying that I'm sick of Veronica's character, because we were given no reason to relate to her character or know anything about her past or understand why she is the way she is. It's always been about her being the #1 bad bitch on the show, being overly controlling, causing all kinds of mayhem, but no reason to feel like we can relate to her character. So this video actually was a good thing, because maybe now Tyler Perry will surprise us all by revealing more about Veronica's past, maybe showing her mother. I would love for that to happen, but I never really sat down because I've thought about it, because like I said before, I know I've done a video talking about whether or not Veronica might have been, a lesbian in her past, but was able to quote unquote snap out of it or fix it so she's no longer into women. Because we do know when she was in college as a freshman, there was a senior that said that he loved her and then knocked her up, and then she got an abortion, and she felt like that was like a curse, because they tried, her and David tried multiple times to have children but was never able to successfully have a child. Then Jeffrey came along. So maybe this was younger Veronica before she went to law school, before she got addicted to pain pills and alcohol and went to rehab and became the woman she was today, or is today. Perhaps that in her younger life, maybe in high school or something, she was a lesbian, but then her parents forced her out of it, or she decided that, if I want to get to the other side of the tracks, I can't let something like being a lesbian hold me back, because that's going to lead to even more discrimination than what I already have to face as a black woman. So maybe with that in mind, she doesn't want, in a twisted way, from the goodness of my heart, she doesn't want her son to go through what she went through. So with that being said, and like I said before, this video is almost 4 or 5 times longer than I thought it would be. Do you think that it is a possibility that Veronica Harrington was a lesbian when she was younger, and as a result, that could explain why she's so against her own son being gay? So with that being said, I hope you all had a good time listening to this video. I hope the comment section below blows up, because this video has been requested from several of my, I guess you could say, super fans, those followers of the channel that I almost get a message from them every day with a new theory or just encouragement to keep up the work on the channel. So I just want to say once again, If you want to join me on live streams, I highly suggest going to the link in the description below. And there are multiple links. My eBay, Instagram, Have and Have Not page, Have and Have Not group on Facebook. I got all kinds of social media focused on the haves and have nots, and I would love to connect with more of you all. So follow me on those platforms. Also subscribe to the channel. If you're new here and you enjoyed this video, trust and believe there are dozens, if not hundreds, of videos on this channel specifically have and have not related. I hope you take the time to scroll through the playlist. Just go to the video tab of the channel. There is a lot to keep you busy. So with that being said, what do you think of this theory? Do you think Veronica might have been into the same gender when she was younger? Or is she simply not against the idea, or excuse me, not for the idea of her own son being gay?